Catch you later, Alex. Thank y'all. See you later.
Go well.
See ya.
Okay. These sons of guns broke my limb last year. All right, well, good morning. This is blog number 1 for the season. And today, it's August 30th. This is catch-up day for deer season. Been busy with chasing November with Gavin, and it's been an exciting time around here. I've gotten some new permission farms with my girlfriend Joy. I'm actually standing on her piece right now. This is a spot where she's got 2 bucks from last year that we're looking back for. One she calls Farm Boy. He's a really beautiful deer with a big flyer point, and then there's a big frame 8-pointer. So that flyer buck from last year she calls Farm Boy showed up in the middle of September. So I'm gonna get this camera. I've had tracks running here. There's a bean field right here that we're gonna try to get him on again. It's a beautiful foggy morning, 48 degrees. We're just excited to get things kicked off here. I've got Alex Raymond behind the camera. He's an intern from Minnesota, and we're excited for this day. Beautiful morning. Gonna get this camera put up and then get the drone in the air and show you one of the prettiest views that I have seen in southern Iowa in a long time. What you can see behind me is a beautiful landscape of central Iowa. It's 48 degrees. I'm literally wearing my new Arctic Shield Prodigy. This is a new line for 2023 that these guys came out with in the brand new Realtree Aspect, which is solely available through Arctic Shield. Feels like fall, got a cup of coffee. Alex and I are just talking about it. There's literally nothing better. I enjoy photography, videography, editing. I love deer hunting. Getting to do both of them every single day is a blessing. And we've been doing some filming, been out to these new permission farms. Gonna show you what they look like, show you what bucks we've gotten on them, and just being transparent. I've never been further behind in a deer season preparation wise, but backs against the wall, it's a lot of fun. Today, what we're gonna go do, scout these properties, try to figure out camera locations, potential stand locations. And it's gonna be pretty intrusive for this time of the year, but got to do it. I'm not going to go in there blind come opening day. So appreciate you guys joining. Let's get to the blog and have a productive day. All right, well, we just wrapped up that beautiful morning of filming. Wish couldn't walk away from all that rolling fog, but it's been absolutely gorgeous today. I mean, it was low 48, it's only 63 right now, and we are now back to the spot we're calling the Big Bird Farm. That's gonna be officially spot number 1, permission farm wise. It's a big CRP farm, and right behind me is an opening that I got permission to try and put in a food plot here with Joy. Not entirely sure if it's gonna work. More or less right now, I am just gonna go try to clear an opening to try and direct deer movement. I got photos of a really big deer right on the bottom last night at the drop time. We'll dive into that in a little bit, but we're gonna go try to put in some sweat equity back here. I got a new weed eater I just purchased, so it's nothing special from the equipment standpoint, but I think this is gonna be a farm that we can have some really good hunts come fall. So let's get to it until it gets hot, and we'll keep rolling on. Well, it's done. I'm not sure it was the most effective, but it's done. And I needed a weed eater for the house, so obviously overkill for a home, but this worked. Like I said, only 2/10 of an acre, and what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna go back into town and get some spray. I'm gonna talk to a couple buddies and see what we think we can get away with. We don't have rain in the forecast from what I could tell. And we're just late to the game, but if nothing else, we've got an opening with some directional trails to hopefully bring them up. The idea is to hop into this cluster of trees that's behind us, hunt it on a north wind, but I mean, putting cameras out will tell us what the deer do here. And ultimately, it's just going to be one of those situations where you try to learn something every time you step foot out here. So we might have made it worse than what it already was, but you know, next year, if we can get some food in here, I think it'd be worth it. So next task is to actually go down to where I put this camera out with Gavin and Joy a couple weeks back. It's the home camera on the Cuddelink system. I'm actually gonna put it up here. I think that this is a great spot for cell service, but it also will help me link north and south without creating too far between each, you know, daisy chained camera. So we'll get that done, freshen up these 2 scrapes, try to figure out the best place to get deer coming through this on these trails. And then we're gonna go walk the rest of the farm, see what else it has to offer. We've already done quite a bit of damage and intrusion today, so yeah, I would like to do one and done, pick stand locations, and then after we get all the cameras deployed, I'll talk about the buck we got last night. I don't know if he lives here, but he's exciting enough to talk about. So now we're gonna go get that home camera and then get this Cuddelink deployed. Couple of things I'm gonna do here. First, I am going to turn this off. Long story short, this is the home cam. I'm gonna replace this with an L on the link. This will be link number 2. This is 1. Be able to go back up to that top, hopefully. We'll have to test that theory. If it doesn't, I'll just put one in between. There's a really big white oak tree up here. That should be a perfect link between, but get that guy out. Link menu, remote. Link ID 2, channel 10, 10. Like I said, it's a cool spot. But we're gonna have to figure out a tree. Dude, if you follow this up, it's gnarly in there. There is a ton of historic rubs right here. This big tree could set up perfectly for a north wind morning. You could sneak down. This is just thick, nasty back here. And that's why this is so beat down. I mean, it's like a cattle trail. If I was gonna call one of my shots, 10 yards right on this trail, cruising, looking for a doe. Going to all that CRP to find the mamas. Yeah. All right, so we're about 20 yards up above the hill where we just put that camera, and I don't usually like to go super deep into farms, but it's summertime, this is our first time, and we're already in here making noise. And I wanted to see where this trail led to. First and foremost, because I talked about that tree being a great option. Well, I wanted to see what was downwind of it and mostly see if there's any crossings. Well, it's perfect. There's stuff scattered all over this creek and have no intentions of clearing it. There's no trails going down to it, and it sits up high on this shelf. We're seeing buck rub after buck rub after buck rub. There's a bed in there, and the ag that's on the neighbors is just up above us. So I think that this is the bedroom. We would be able to sneak in here in the morning, come late October, the rut, hopefully be able to catch them before they come back to bed. This would be a really awesome spot to use a call. You know, we could even use a decoy across the creek on a north wind. If I put it above us, they would still have to come across our crossing, get downwind of that decoy, and we can pop right in. I mean, it's trying to be as advantageous with hunting this farm with our access. I worry about it on afternoons. I don't really know how we could get in here in the evenings because we can't put in any food except maybe up at that top like we talked about. But this spot in the morning come fall, look out. There's rubs all over it. Plums, pretty cool. No? All right. Taking some test photos right now on the cuddy back. Got the home camera moved up here to the food plot. a link camera put on that creek crossing where we got the drop tine buck, and we're gonna take a brief intermission, go get some lunch. But after that, we're gonna go scout the northeast part of the farm. Haven't been there once. Deploy the rest of these cameras. Keep on moving. All right, well, we just walked down this bottom and already we're getting into a lot of historical sign, which is a great thing to see. There's a lot of different rubs throughout here. Big tree right here that could be a good stand location for a south wind, especially in the morning. We're just gonna kind of see. I haven't really paid attention much for trails, but feels deery down here, that's for dang sure. This could be a good spot for a camera. Just ran a link test here for camera 3, and I'm pretty shocked that this is reaching. I mean, this is at 62, so it's not only reaching, but it's reaching just fine. We're down this bottom. Definitely some big trails through here. I'm not sure if anything's really using it right now, but we'll put it down here, see what we get. That's gonna be what she is, I guess. We building up a sweat down here and definitely smelled something dead. I wanted to come look at this creek just to see how accessible it was, and it is thicker than all get out. And though there's a lot of sign and trails, we're probably not gonna do much in here. I mean, we do a lot more harm than good. And we smelled something dead, and looks like there's a hardhorn buck up here. I mean, his skull's well cleaned off though, so I don't know how long he's been dead, but we smelled him probably 100 yards that way. So let's go check it out and see what it looks like.
He's just starting to shed his velvet.
Yeah. A nice 8-pointer. I never had him on camera. It's tough to say how long he's been dead, you know. I made the comment, I don't know, probably 20 minutes ago when we first got down here. Started seeing all this stagnant, exposed wet mud and the bugs and flies, and I made a comment to Alex, EHD Central. And what do we find? Really pretty 8-pointer. I mean, beautiful buck. Obviously I have no idea how old he is or what, anything of that nature, but bladed G2s, and you can see some of the velvet still coming. He was in the middle of shedding, and whatever happened to him occurred, and that he has been cleaned to the bone. There are millions of maggots right here, but Mother Nature always wins, as they say. So we will not be getting him on camera. But I've got 2 other bucks. I guess this is as good of a time as any to discuss the deer we do have. There's a really tight frame 9-pointer, pretty nice, that we filmed from the road. And I think I got 1 set of photos of him in that creek crossing. And then last night, got a beautiful 8-pointer with a big drop tine. So it is clearly got a good structure of age to it. The buck with the drop tine is very mature. Super thankful to the landowner that we are gonna have the opportunity to hunt here. But unfortunately, you never wanna see that. I mean, it's a terrible way to go. But we'll leave him here, and this will be his final resting place. So keep scouting, get on out of here. It smells pretty awful right here, I won't lie to you. Hope you guys are not dealing with EHD. That's assuming what this is. And we'll keep rolling on here. Well, as you can see, we're not at the farm, and right now we're back in my house, and just wanted to wrap this up for you guys faster. All we ended up doing the rest of that day was putting out 2 more trail cameras, put 1 on a fence crossing and then 1 on an apple tree. And then we ended up spraying that plot that we cleared out with the weed eater. And since then, we've actually gotten another shooter on camera. It's a big 6x6 on that apple tree. It's a beautiful wide framey deer, one that I definitely would love to go after. But right now, you know, just being honest, I've got nothing but anxiety thinking about that drop tine deer, who, by the way, I know he's a 10-pointer with the drop tine. I said 8 when we were out there at the farm. High res images definitely made me feel a little silly, but you know, my anxiety is just a little bit high about getting excited after finding that deer on the EHD side of things. I mean, where we had pictures of him in that creek crossing, that's where the drop tine is, where that 12-pointer is not far. So, you know, the general vicinity is the same for all of those bucks. And as you could tell in that photo, that was only on the 21st. So, you know, that moment from the deer's alive to fully cleaned and decayed did not take that long. So we'll see. That's out of my control. There's no point in being anxious about it, but it's a great farm. Very, very thankful again to the landowner. Access is going to be tough on that piece, only being able to come from the west, but we'll see how the cards fall. Finally, to wrap it up, I want to set the stage for the other pieces that we've gotten. I do have a place that we're referring to as the River Farm right now. One good buck showing up there. He's a big 8-pointer. And then there's 2 other properties that we've got cameras on. One that we've gotten a buck with some good split G2s. That's gonna be the hardest farm to hunt as far as, you know, what we have to work with. It's literally just a draw on a big ag field. And then there's another piece that Joy and I are gonna be spending some time on that we turkey hunted this past spring. It's a beautiful property, lots of things to be excited about. I just so far have not received any pictures of bucks, but lots of does, big alfalfa field right in the middle of it, and could be a great spot for Joy to target a doe early. But exciting times overall, as I said, when we're out on the farm. And really the next time we're gonna be out in the field is when we're gonna be setting some stands. You know, we're gonna let these cameras soak. Bucks starting to shed their velvet, obviously. They'll establish those fall ranges, and whatever we feel like is gonna be our best play as far as bucks go, that's where I'll put my resources into. So appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you are having a great start to your seasons as well. And opening day cannot come soon enough.